So good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and today the nation celebrates the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And just in the last hour, thousands of people pushed through those extreme cold temperatures here in Spokane for an MLK march and rally. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones, he's out in the cold and he is live from downtown Spokane. Brandon, there are still more events planned for this afternoon, but how's it been this morning?
Well, yeah, that's exactly right, Laura. And then also, as you mentioned, there are some more events, and they're right there behind us in the convention center. There's a resource fair going on as we speak. We just got the march all wrapped up, so they're all back inside in that warm weather again. But we were out here as they were taking the streets of Spokane. I mean, there was thousands of people out here, all with smiles on their face, just happy to endure that cold weather. They're bundled up, they had smiles on their face. Some people were chanting all types of different messages, and ultimately, you know, just here to do a day of service and to represent and honor the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. So you can see some of that video on your screen right there. You heard some of those drums, but go ahead and also take a listen really quick at what those early moments sounded like, because we also got a chance to speak with one of those people who were out here marching with the crowd.
They're using their voices to come together in the face of racism and injustice, and I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, and so what the message of the day was that it's not a day off, but a day on. So even though a lot of people are off of work today, they were still out here because they wanted to march and be together and ultimately represent the unity that's here in Spokane as well. So again, there are some more events and they're planned as well throughout the rest of the week. You can go onto our website at krem.com or the KREM 2 app and find all of those details as well. But for now, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and reporting live in downtown Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Brandon, thank you so much. And in Washington, D.C., Martin Luther King III laid a wreath at his father's memorial this morning. President Biden visiting Philadelphia, where he helped support people who are suffering from food insecurity. And the vice president is in South Carolina today for a keynote address at an NAACP event. All right. It's just a few minutes past noon. We're going to talk about weather right now. We're talking about warming up, but it is still very, very cold. So I hesitate to use the word warm.
Totally.
But a little bit better. Nicole Hernandez is in today for Thomas. What do you know?
It's exactly that. We are still very, very cold outside. Our feels like temperature is even worse because of the wind that you can see blowing the flag out in Coeur d'Alene right there. It's cold outside, but it's not as bad as we saw this weekend. So it's good. We are warming up, but it is still below 10 degrees. It's 7 degrees here in Spokane. Across the region, similar temperatures, 5 in Coeur d'Alene, 3 in Sandpoint. Moses Lake the warmest at just 14 degrees. So very cold still today, not warming up too much more from here in Spokane, reaching 11, 12 degrees, depending on where you're at. Either way, even though we're warmer than this weekend, still be extra careful as you head out the door. Other than the cold, we are nice and clear for right now. We have a little bit of, scattered cloud cover, light cloud cover here and there across the region. We end up being sunny this afternoon, and then tomorrow we end up with some just partial cloud cover. Then tomorrow night, those clouds really start to build out, and the reason they start to build out is because they're coming ahead of that. A winter storm that's on its way for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That storm going to bring inches of snow for all of us here in the inland Northwest. Very widespread. I'll talk about exactly when we see that hit, how long it lasts, and how much snow we're expecting from it coming up.
All right, my friend, thank you. Certainly, very cold temperatures can be very dangerous. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown issuing a state of emergency during this extended freeze. The emergency order really helps clear the way for more shelter beds to get people out of the cold. The city of Spokane adding almost 200 beds to the Trent shelter, and then just reopening the Cannon Street shelter as well. Now, despite the added bed, space is limited. So we're taking a look here at the Shelter Me Spokane website. Several places are marked as full. If you can't make it to a shelter, the Spokane Public Libraries will also have 4 locations open today. And those include the Spokane Public Libraries in Hilliard, Liberty Park, Shadle Park, and Central Library as well. They'll be open until 7 o'clock tonight. And we aren't the only ones certainly dealing with dangerous winter weather. Much of the country is really under a deep freeze. So taking a look at Oregon, strong winds toppling trees over the weekend. You see that people can barely stand up. One man died when a tree crashed through his home. And then across the country in Maine, record-breaking flooding left streets underwater. And they headed south in Texas, where temperatures dropped below freezing. People are being asked to conserve energy to protect the state's power grid there. Heavy snow also forced the NFL to postpone yesterday's playoff game between the Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh Steelers. That game now airing at 1:30, by the way, right here on KREM 2. Crews worked all night to try and clear snow from roads and parking lots in that area. The team saying 3 feet of snow fell inside the stadium. Over the weekend, New York's governor issued a travel ban for the area, and that was because of whiteout conditions. So with so much snow, the team put out a call for snow shovelers to help dig out the stadium. Not bad. They were having a good time, too. The team paid fans $20 an hour to help shovel snow. While the field should be ready for today's game, Bills fans are warned to be prepared for snow-covered seats. All right. I've got hardcore fans in my family of both teams. It's a big game. Live coverage of today's game kicks off with the pregame show at 12:30. So right after we're done here on KREM 2 News at noon, all the hoopla begins. The game is then scheduled to start at 1:30. Again, keep it here to KREM 2. And don't forget, KREM 2 is your home for the Super Bowl as well. Coming in new at noon, it is the end of an era for the Gonzaga men's basketball team. After 143 consecutive appearances, the Bulldogs dropped out of the latest AP poll. This is the first time Gonzaga has not been ranked in the top 25 since March of 2016. The Zags lost to Santa Clara on Saturday to drop their record to 11-5 this season. However, should note there is still a whole lot of basketball to be played. However, some early bracket predictions have already dropped the Zags from March Madness. Gonzaga still has a big-time matchup against Kentucky on the schedule. That game will be played coming up February 10th. And by the way, you can watch it live right here on KREM 2. Meantime, the Gonzaga women's basketball team comes in at number 17 in this week's AP poll. The Zags actually dropping one spot despite winning both of their games last week. The Gonzaga women are now 16-2 on the season.